Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon, and this is the premiere of Behind the Enthusiast. I have two choices, a 2017 Ford Focus RS, and to my right, a 2017 Suzuki DRZ 400 SM. Which one will I choose? You'll find out in just a second. Well guys, as you can see, I chose my 2017 Ford Focus RS. So I am going to be starting the premiere off with my story on how I became a car enthusiast. Now, as most young boys, I had lots of toys, lots of cars, specifically Hot Wheels, Matchbox, that sort of thing. And so basically, from a really young age, I was always given cool looking cars to play with, smash, whatever. So unfortunately, I did destroy some Lamborghinis when I was very young because I didn't know any better. So sorry to any Lamborghini fans. I know the error of my ways now. And so I started off with, something that was very small, something easy to get a hold of. And then it progressed to larger cars, so larger scale cars. So, I don't know what the sizes were, but the ones where you can get them in the boxes with nice display stands. So I had Porsche, I had Lamborghini. I found an appreciation for those larger ones after destroying many of the smaller Hot Wheels ones. And so I ended up collecting a lot. I had the kit cars as well. However, I never ended up putting any of them together. I just didn't have the paint or whatever. There was always some excuse. And so I ended up having all these cars. I had remote control, race car, tracks, everything, that sort of stuff. And I guess once I was watching TV, once I was watching IndyCar racing or NASCAR, that sort of thing, racing has really always been something that has given me an adrenaline rush ever since I was a little kid. I used to go and watch the dirt track races when I was younger. I used to go with my brother and my dad all the time. And so it was, there's some really good memories of doing that sort of thing. And I've always been into cars. I've always been into, things that go fast and sound cool and look cool as well. And so I guess basically the transition point where I went from liking remote control cars or just playing with cars or watching racing for that matter, it really changed when I was about 13 years old. And that is because it was around the year, basically 2001 or 2002, when the first Subaru WRX actually came to North America. I believe I was around 13 at the time. And so what happened was I saw the advertisement for the WRX on TV numerous times, and I was instantly hooked with the rally heritage, the cool, sliding around a corner, the World Rally Blue, because it was my favorite color. And I guess somewhere deep down in my mind, I decided that it was going to be my car. It was going to be either my first car or whatever. And so I decided, okay, this is my dream car. This is what I want to get. And so I wanted it for so long And prior to actually, getting my license, obviously I played lots of video games, car racing games, Need for Speed, Underground or whatever, where you could modify cars. So I was always looking for something cheap to start off with. And so I looked at so many different cars. It didn't matter if it was a Volkswagen, Mazda, Ford, it didn't matter. I basically played every single game to modify, see how much I could do to the cars, how much aesthetics I could change, because I wanted my car to look cool. I didn't necessarily care about going fast. I was always like, I want this car to look like I created. I want it to be the best looking car to me. And so, I almost bought numerous vehicles, almost bought a Mustang, and I was working at the time, and I just basically I didn't do anything. I just saved my money. I'm kind of a workaholic, and so I saved my money for, I think, two or 3 years maybe, and I ended up saving up enough money so that I could buy a car. I was looking at the WRX, obviously, but I also stumbled across a 2002 Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS, so naturally aspirated, really clean car, manual, so it was a nice beginner car. And the WRX, it just didn't work out. I was supposed to meet the person. I arrived late because my dad was driving. Obviously, I didn't have my license, my full license, so he was driving me everywhere, other than the test drive, obviously. And yeah, it didn't work out for the WRX, unfortunately. And I ended up with the 2.5 RS. And that was my first car. And I learned how to drive standard on it. I got used to the clutch, which was super, super weird. And it took me several years. I don't remember exactly how long, but it took me several years at least before I finally, found another WRX. And it was much cheaper. It was really rough. And so I ended up getting my dream car as a Christmas present for myself one year. And shortly after, I ended up getting rid of the Impreza, the base model. And yeah, I was rocking it out with my dream car, my 2002 WRX. And so they were the same year. And then at one point, I ended up transitioning to the idea of preserving that car as much as possible. So I ended up getting a winter beater, which was a 2003 Subaru Forester 2.5X. And that was definitely a winter beater. The gas tank started leaking on it, and just a bunch of other problems came up eventually. And so I ended up having to just basically give it away for really, really cheap, just to get rid of it. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And at some point, while I was talking to my buddy, so I don't remember when I said this, but apparently I said that if Ford were to come out with an all-wheel drive car, I would buy it. And sure enough, Ford decides to release the Ford Focus RS model with all-wheel drive, 350 horsepower. And so I had to follow through with my plan, what I said I was going to do. And so I started hunting around for a 2017 Ford Focus RS. And the process of buying a car, a brand new one, was so different from buying the used ones, because you go to a dealership and it's used, and you heckle on the price and blah blah blah, and a private sale you can heckle a little bit as well, right? They can kind of like make them an offer based on what's wrong with the vehicle. But buying a new one, I didn't really expect the same experience, and it definitely wasn't. It was different, but it was kind of similar because similar in the sense that you could still get a deal, but I didn't realize how many dealerships would actually want your business when it came to a brand new car. That was the most surprising thing for me. Being a car enthusiast, going to car shows, hanging out with the car club, everything, like, I never experienced anything like this. I never heard about it. I was just kind of naive to it. And then all of a sudden, it's happening to me. And I'm getting phone calls, and guys are like, call us back. We'll go lower. And I'm like, well, somebody else already went lower than you. And they're like, we'll beat that too. So, but I can go into more detail about that later. But that happened. I finally settled on a dealership to get my 2017 Ford Focus RS, which I'm driving right now. And it is such an amazing car. I'm really happy with it. I haven't really modified it. I put mud flaps on it. That's really the only aesthetics thing that I've changed. And a lot of guys are, they go out and they buy like a Ford Focus ST or something, and they modify like crazy with wheels and body kits and whatever. And lots of performance stuff. With the RS, you don't need to, and even as a daily driver, I mean, it is a bit of a pig on gas, but the thing is the tank is also really small, so you kind of have to keep that in mind. So you are filling up quite a bit, but that more or less is how I became, a car enthusiast, and my journey has progressed up until now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little chat, me just kind of doing a little story here of how I got to this point. And honestly, I don't know if I really have a dream car in mind now, because I still have my WRX, I have this amazing Ford Focus RS, and I don't know what's next. As a car enthusiast, I'm kind of more refined now. I want to spend less money but get a better quality build of vehicle, but I don't necessarily want to buy brand new again. So I mean, I've always liked Porsches and that type of thing, just not super expensive, not Ferrari, not Lamborghini, but you never know. So that's pretty much it for this vlog, this grand premiere of Behind The Enthusiast. So I will be doing a lot more of this type of content for you guys. I will be changing it up, obviously, between motorcycles and cars. So if you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button. Leave any comments down below if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to request, certain information, like what my buying experience was like for the Ford RS, something like that. Feel free to leave those requests down below as well, because I do read your comments and I do try to cater every once in a while to you guys to answer your questions so that you guys are informed or entertained or whatever. And sometimes you guys really appreciate the information that I share. So something like a buying experience might be really important to you guys. So like I said, that's it for me. So if you guys want to get notified for any videos within this series, any future videos, I will be posting them probably once a week, or once every 2 weeks. I'm not entirely sure. It just depends on my schedule and how I'm, recording videos. But if you guys want to get notified, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you guys are notified. And I will catch you guys in the next one.